Mantis here with another VOD review. If you like what you see, comment and like on the video. Please sub and DM me for a review if you want a review done. So looking at your match history, 12 wins, 18 losses. So how do we improve your win rate in solo queue? Because you don't play that much, right? What you can do is stop playing champs like Samara, Swain, Zeri, maybe even Jhin in rank. You're switching it up too much, right? Stick to your mains. I know there's a string of Aphellios games that you have, and it's a couple losses combined it, but you just need to really focus on your champ, learn what you could have done better, and not switch it up when you start losing a little bit, because you won't maintain a high win rate doing that, especially if you don't play a lot ranked. Now, moving on from that, really want to be checking what the pros do for builds and masteries. So you can click the icon right here in OPGG and then look at the top players on the server. So this is Korea server, and then look at what he runs, right? So he does conk, right? This is a challenger player, by the way, but then he also does fleet, lethal tempo, PTA. So he switches it up, and you have to understand every time why he switches it up, and this will ultimately help you with your Aphellios for sure. And then look at the builds too. Look when he does the variations of builds and try to understand why he does those variations. That'll help you a lot, right? So you do switch it up from time to time, but again, you just don't have a lot of games played, right? So you don't really see your true potential. But that being said, like, you have so many Jinx games, it's like probably much more beneficial just to spam Jinx. Even though you've been losing on her kind of recently, it's just your mastery is there. You just have to abuse it, kind of. Whatever you choose, you just gotta focus on a champ and start grinding it out based on your match history. And then going into the game, we got a game here from your recent match history. When your teammates are AFK like this in Fountain, you really want to try to cover 2 entrances at once. So even by stepping up a little bit closer here, you have the vision. That'll help you for invades. But also right here, when you notice that your ally is walking the same path as you, just make the adjustment right on the fly and cover the other entrance. Right, you don't need to be covering the same entrance, right? If you guys get invaded, you're doomed, right? And these guys are covering for the most part, but they could also be invading, right? And if they do invade, and the times that you guys are sleeping, you'll start falling behind early, right? So it's not good. You always want to avoid that. So this game blows up around 5 minutes, right? So we're going to be looking at lane phase a little bit. Yeah, good harassment. Want to watch out for level 2 here. Yeah, good kiting, good harassment as well. CSing fine. Yeah, so far, I like what I see. You need to just think about how you could be CSing on the turret a little bit better, right? Because all of this matters, especially in the early game. Like, 1 kill and proper CS could be the difference between 100, 200 gold, and on your first back, if you have an item spike, you can really just snowball the game in your favor, especially at your elo. Go for 100%. Alright, so every time you mess up CS on the turret, you really need to think about what you could be doing differently to farm it, right? And like, you just gotta rewind it, think about maybe you can sneak it extra auto in while the wave is crashing, that type of stuff, right? Or like, how can you use your autos to CS all these, right? Or even your spells as well. A good way of doing it is watching challenger players play and see how they do it on your champ, because sometimes they're using spells that you can't even fathom using. execution. So just, you know, keep calm. Don't think about it too much. I'll play when you can, right? This is a perfect chance to deal a lot of damage to this guy. Kind of let it walk by, right? Let an opportunity pass by. Just watch out when in these spots where you have no vision, right? And they're playing the bush. Right, so you have no vision in here, right? You don't have any wards, and you can't assume that Yumi's gonna ward unless you're talking to her on the microphone. So watch your right clicks here, especially, right? You don't want to be fucking up here, right? He goes invisible, you walk up, take a 4th shot, and like little trades like this matter. The higher you climb. Okay, we see Jarvan. Probably the time to play a little bit aggressive here. I do like it. This is like all execution, right? Dodging the W. Definitely need to watch the 4th shot. This is the second time that you just like openly traded into the 4th shot, right? So it's like his 4th shot deals additional 15% missing health damage. So when you play into the 4th shot, definitely getting out traded a little bit. And if this player was any good, he would have auto queued you, right? So not only you get traded, you get traded even harder, right? So perhaps think about just walking back a little bit on that 4th shot. That way you don't get out traded this hard, right? But it's like all this trading matters, right? So like even back here, right? The 4th shot, right? Right? And then that small health that you lost adds on, right, to the next trade, right? Because now you're still down that HP. When you do trade again, you know, getting out traded, right? And it's like all these minor trades building up to this point matter, right? Now it starts to matter. For a shot, right? Again, you're trading into the 4th shot just purposefully, right? You want, in your eyes, you want to take 163 damage because it's a worth trade for you, right? And you just have to kind of like do the math, right? You're seeing it with your own eyes live now, and you kind of just need to make the adjustment the next time you're in this matchup, right? Because you don't need to die to get the kill. You can just get the kill, push the wave in, and now you're super ahead, right? Down a little bit of CS, but like you know, start actively thinking about how you can maximize your CS under turret, right? This stuff matters. Here, you just need to back up. Good. But the amount of trading this game you were doing against a Jhin, maybe even Doran Blade would have been better, right? Because you're trading so much. In a lane that you just know that you're going to be sleeper farming or playing safe constantly, it's probably better to get the call. Now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it. Yeah, so they take the lead and they never give it back, right? So there needs to be a lane that excels in order for you to win, right? And obviously it's not going to be these guys, it's going to be you, right? So that's why it's so important to focus on the early game in solo queue. I mean, pretty good mechanics, but it's like, are we just not buying wards on our back? I just don't have enough. A lot of potion. Like missing a little bit of CS matters, you know. Like pink wards are worth a lot, right? And it's like you're playing against Jarvan, right? So it's like when you are playing against Jarvan and you're pushing and you have a Master Yi who you know is probably not is good enough to counter gank. You just have to be aware, right, that you could get ganked. There's a potential to get ganked here, right? The higher ELO you go, when you see champions like Lee Sin, J4, Jarvan, Pantheon, any jungle Nunu, it's all the same, right? Like if this is a play that you constantly do, where you come back to lane and you just push, you griefing yourself in the long run, right? Because the jungler is gonna come, right? The enemy team knows what you're doing. They see you pushing up by yourself with Yuumi. What do you think they're gonna do, right? Of course they're gonna try to aim for you, right? And also another like next level thinking is that, okay, will Jarvan gank Vladimir? Probably not. Would Jarvan gank Olaf? Well, didn't he just die to Olaf 1v1 up here? So no, he's not gonna go back up top. That's just ridiculous, right? He's gonna give up on top and go look for golds in other parts of the map, right? So in reality, the only lane that in his mind that's worth ganking is your lane, right? So when you come back in lane and you're farming, and then he shows on the map, right? And then he goes south, there might be a fair assumption that he's coming for you, right? That this is what you have to think, right? You can't just let these junglers come and gank you for free, right? And you certainly can't be dying when the game is 4-4 and you guys are already behind, right? Now it's like, okay, we need Vladimir to carry. We need Olaf to carry, right? You can't be that in solo queue. You can't have that. Dying here is pretty bad, but I think it could have been avoided a little bit if you put a little bit more thought into the game situation. They slay dragon, so you know they're gonna be coming. Okay, you have no flash. They just gave you the wave to freeze, and you don't freeze it. Right. Keep the lane. You're playing with Yuumi. She's not gonna save you anytime soon. Keep the lane here. I think if you ward, I think this triangle or this triangle, I don't remember which one. You can ward over the wall. Find out. You know what I'm saying? You're a bot lane expert. You're supposed to be knowing this, right? And just keep the wave here, right? Like, what? Why can't you keep it here? Right? You need to start thinking about manipulating your waves a little bit more, right? Okay, they just slay Drake, and immediately you're expending your chakrams, whatever, and just pushing, right? Are they gonna go middle after they do Drake, or are they gonna group up and come bottom because the ADC who's queued up with Yumi, or not queued up, is, the supports Yumi, is free, right? They're not gonna go mid. They're not gonna gank mid. We already know this. How are they gonna gank Vladimir, right? Low elo players don't try to actively look to gank Vladimir. They're coming for you, right? So it's like, this should not be a surprise to you that this is happening, and on top of that, you should not be getting hit by any of this. This is why you lost the game. And if you do these type of plays, where it's like they do Drake and you just immediately start pushing, you won't climb. You just won't, right? And I think with that, there's not much more to talk about for this specific game, right? Like, I would love to see another game of yours, but you just simply don't play enough. And I feel like you need to iron out your picks for ranked, so it would be a little bit better. Yeah, this game kind of sucks. We never want to be 1-3-1, thinking about, okay, what can we do differently now to win the game, right? You just want to be ahead, and you get those leads in solo queue early in the game. Was that Yumi's ult? Yeah, it was. There's not much more to see, to be honest. I think for sure this is what you need to do, okay? Look at more Aphellios gameplay, right? Domi some Aphellios. Domi some's a good channel, right? They got every single champion, I think. Right there, yo. Aphellios Yumi, right? Easy Rakan, right? So that in this matchup it's Jin Rakan, but it's Aphellios Yumi. So this is from 10 days ago, right? So it's like almost the exact matchup, and there's a replay, right? Okay, maybe it starts a little bit late, but there's other VODs that you can check out and it'll help you, right? So I think you should start doing that. Hopefully my advice helps, and good luck on your Rift.